Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huskies Greatest Games, brought to you by Preferred One. Joining me today, just like last time, assistant men's hockey coach Nick Oliver, and another men's hockey alum from St. Cloud State University, Brooks Birch. Guys, how are we doing today? Nick, we can start with you.
Doing great, Nick. Always good to see you. Always good to see Brooksy again. Yeah, things are good. We're rolling along with practice right now. Obviously, with the recent news of the NCHC bubble, our players and staff are obviously very fired up about that. So we're just in the middle of that preparation. So all is good on my end.
And Brooks, feel free to introduce yourself and give the fans a little bit to know about you and what you're up to now.
Awesome. Well, first off, thanks for having me on. Right now, I'm currently a scout for the Los Angeles Kings. I was played at St. Cloud from 2011 to 2015. I've been with the Kings for the past 4 years, going into my 5th season, based out of Minneapolis here. So I've covered our college free agents the past 2 years, and I'm a full member of our amateur staff now. So I've been busy trying to cherry pick games of leagues that are playing, and yeah, been busy. So thanks for having me.
Awesome, guys. Glad to hear that both of you are doing well and making the most despite the crazy times. And let's just jump right into it. The Huskies' greatest games, St. Cloud State against Denver at home just a few years ago. Now, Nick, a familiar name in between the pipes for St. Cloud, Charlie Lindgren, but you can see on that score graphic 1-1-1, so a young goaltender. What do you think was going through his mind as you guys took the ice against the Pioneers?
Yeah, no, I mean, Charlie, obviously he's had a heck of a career and had a heck of a career at St. Cloud State, won a lot of hockey games for our program. But he was a talented kid right away, and we all knew it. We could all tell. I think a lot of times as a young goalie in college hockey, it's tough to jump in and take the reins necessarily right away. So you can see at this point in the year, a good situation to get a talented young goalie in a big time league game.
And Brooks, a top 20 matchup. You guys were ranked 6th coming into the game, and Denver at 15. And it's a conference game. What are the emotions when it's a conference game and a top 20 matchup such like this?
Yeah, I mean, league play, every game counts, especially the ones at home. Obviously, any conference game, they're always heated, really competitive. Denver's always good. I think this was our first year in the NCHC, so we had 2 years in WCHA, my first 2 years, and this was the first year of the league, so highly competitive. Every point mattered, and as you can see, 15 and 6, so we were pushing to make the NCAA tournament.
And Brooks, how did you feel? You know, we're 41 seconds into the game and a 4-on-4 penalty offsetting minors. What goes through the minds when something like that happens so early?
Well, not much through my mind because I didn't play much 4-on-4. I was probably parked right on the bench right about now. A lot of ice out there, a lot of skill, a lot of plays. Denver had a ton of firepower. Trevor Moore, Joey LaLeggia, I think I recall. And we did as well. Nicked out, you can see right there in the top of the crease. Charlie obviously is a special goalie too. So yeah, 4-on-4, I wasn't out there.
And Nick, it's no surprise it's an Olympic sheet down at the Herb, but how much bigger does it feel when it's 4-on-4 compared to even strength?
No, you nailed it. Like the Olympic sheet, the extra width, it presents challenges defensively in terms of your structure and what you're trying to take away. And then you add, you take 2 less players on the ice, it opens it up a lot more. And for 2 teams like the team we had this year in Denver, obviously it's a lot of skill, a lot of speed, a lot of plays that are going to be made in this game for sure.
And now that you've seen it on the coaching end of things, how much do strategies change in terms of, instead of it being a 5-on-5, it's not a power play, but it is 2 less men on the ice?
Yeah, it's still the same game. I think you still need to defend well. It turns a little bit more into a man-on-man situation defensively rather than probably trying to outnumber people in your own zone. And then offensively, I think it gives you freedom to be a lot more creative. There's less bodies out there. There's usually a little less traffic around the net. So I think as soon as you beat someone, you have more space to get to the net right away and create a quality scoring chance.
And we see a replay here. Huskies getting shots on net early. How important is that to try and swing the tide in the momentum of your favor? Brooks, you can take this one.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, free ice out there, big sheet, two skilled forwards there with Morley and Jimmy Murray, both possession-based guys that possess the puck really well and create chances. Obviously, give one up there to follow it up, which definitely doesn't help with the momentum. Want to get your home fans into it right away, but still a lot of game left here. So,
and you guys ended the first period 0-0, but give first blood to the Pioneers. Nick, how do you guys try and respond after not getting the first goal in the game in such a highly competitive game?
Yeah, I think you can see how close it's been so far. Danny Doremus, great guy. Unfortunately, scored that first one against us there. But no, we trusted obviously in our group, and we know we have enough firepower for sure to get back in this game. So this is a game where chances are probably hard to come by. So you just got to hang in there and keep playing your game, and know that at some point, our skill hopefully will take over, and we'll keep doing the right things.
And Nick, you experience it a lot on the bench as a coach, but Brooks, how important do the fans play in terms of creating and drawing energy from the crowd at the Herb?
It's huge. When the Herb's rocking, it matters so much to the boys. It's such a momentum, based barn. It's just huge for us. I think you have a little extra jump in your legs at home always. That building's loud. It may not be the biggest place in the conference, but it sure gets loud, and the students and the fans really drive confidence in the guys from shift to shift. And I think at any point in time, it can definitely turn the momentum in the game.
When we see Husky go to the box for what looked to be an interference right out in front of the crease, now giving Denver another chance to go on the power play. Nick, how do you respond after they just get the goal and then they've got another chance to score here?
Yeah, a critical moment in the game for sure. You can tell momentum started to swing a little bit in their favor coming off the goal, and then they're able to extend a shift in the offensive zone and draw a penalty. So against a team that doesn't give up much, a really well-coached team. Jim Montgomery's teams are always very well-coached, and they don't give you a ton. Right now you got to do whatever you can to not let this lead get to 2.
And we talked about it just a few minutes ago that there's extra width on the Olympic sheet. Does it make it easier to kill a penalty when you have a little bit more space, or does it give the advantage to the team on the power play? Brooks, you can take this.
I mean, traditionally it's going to give the advantage more to the power play, but I think if you stick to your structure and discipline, stick positioning and details that you work on, you should be fine. Obviously, it's a commitment to blocking shots as well. Denver does a good job moving the puck around, like Nick said, well coached. But I think it's more just staying poised and patient, staying in your lane, sticking to your structure, not letting the width of the ice, dictate, where we're at on the ice.
Lays it in, gives chase. Storm shovels it up the wall, not out.
Denver keeping good possession on this power play, trying their best to get one to go, and they get their second of the night here, and they're up 2-0. Could you guys feel in this moment that the energy started to diminish, not only from the fans but also the emotions on the bench, that this might not be the one for us? Or what were some of the thoughts going through your head after this goal? Nick, we can start with you, and then Brooks, you can follow.
Yeah, I just jinxed us, I think, saying how we couldn't go down 2. And Will Butcher, he was a pretty darn good player, and he's still a pretty darn good player. So yeah, I mean, next shift is critical. We'll see how we come back here, but Yeah, there's still half a game to go, 30 minutes to play at this point in the year. I would imagine that we had, a pretty high-powered offensive team. I think we ranked near the tops in terms of goals for and probably power play percentage with this team that year. So definitely in that room, no lack of belief or anything there. I just think it's now about getting that thing turned around, right? Getting that momentum swung back to the Huskies' direction.
Yeah, I don't think you could have had a worse start. That's not really the way you draw it up. 4-on-4 goal against, power play goal against, halfway through the game. But like Nick said, only halfway through, we got a good goaltender in net. We're going to get chances in a power play later in this game. So, yeah, it's just kind of sticking to the process, sticking to the plan. The third goal is going to be the difference maker. It's a 3-2 league. Giving up the third will really be the ultimate dagger. Pretty much have to lock it down from here on out.
Yeah, and we just saw a camera shot of former coach Bob Motzko now in Minneapolis with the Gophers. But what was kind of his message to the team after the second goal for Denver was confirmed? You can see it here. He seems pretty calm and even-keeled, but was he a little more fired up in the locker room at the first intermission or on the bench, when he wasn't on camera? Nick?
No, I think the camera shot of him there was a pretty good example just of his demeanor a little bit. Obviously, he's a very competitive coach, but I think that's one of his great strengths is never getting too high or too low. And again, like I mentioned earlier, just believing and trusting that at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, we could get it going. But I think that's what makes him really successful is he doesn't hit the panic button. And like I said, he stays even keel and trusts that the preparation we've done and the players that we have are eventually going to take it over.
Yeah, I think I don't know what he said in the intermission. Obviously, this is a few years back now, but probably would have deferred to our senior leadership with Nick Dowd and Kevin Gravel, who were elite leaders for us, led the way every weekend, and kind of relied on those guys to kind of get us going.
Coach Oliver, could you give the fans a little bit of an update on, we know the season's planning on starting December 1st at the Hub in Omaha. What can you say about the seniors? But I guess we'll pause for a second as we can see Nick Dowd edging the Huskies back, getting one right in front of Denver's goaltender. How huge, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but how huge is it to get one back instead of going down 3-0? Brooks, we can start with you.
Yeah, I just alluded to it there before, talking about our leadership. Down 2-0 at home in a league game, not a great start. Rely on your upperclassmen and leaders to kind of get you out of it and swing the momentum. Hopefully got the crowd into it as well.
And I hinted at it earlier, but Coach Oliver, if you could give us a little bit of insight on the senior class and what they can bring to this team this season.
Yeah, we love our older group. I think this week we'll probably be able to announce captains who the team selected there. So we love our older group. We love our upperclassmen. We're excited that group is leading us in such a unique setting right now, a unique scenario with the world that we're living in now, and then the excitement too of going into a bubble type situation for 20 days. It's going to come down to focus and who can stay disciplined and who can get through 20 hard days and 10 really hard games. And we love the group that's going to be leading the way for us.
Absolutely. When I got the news, I kind of felt like a kid on Christmas morning, knowing that NCHC hockey will be back and I can watch it on a nightly basis. And I know that that's kind of a general consensus among St. Cloud State students, but also college hockey fans in general, just excited to get back to something that we've had be a staple of our winter for so long, especially growing up in Minnesota.
Absolutely. And I think our guys are equally as excited about it. We've got just under 5 weeks until we're going to be playing. Actually, 5 weeks from today, I believe, which seems like a ways off, but I think it's going to go really quick. We're all focused on what we need to do to prepare and get ready to go. Nice wall play there, Brooksy. I got to handle that one.
Threw a grenade right in your feet, bud.
Got her in deep, though. But now we'll just muck it around for a bit.
Yeah, no plays are made here.
But yeah, our guys are excited, Nick. Our guys are really excited.
No, that's always awesome to hear, and you know, any excitement that you can bring into a season always comes as good news. But we flash forward into the game. We're about halfway through the third period. Huskies still down 1. What's it going to take to tie this game up, Brooks?
Well, a big momentum shift right there. That's for sure what got that goal going. Unfortunately, I didn't get the plus for all our hard work there, but that's all right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're for the boys.
Tedesco,
play by,
right?
Nice play by Teddy here. Driving the puck wide. Nice lateral feed. Goalie's on his back. I don't know what the goalie was doing, but good finish there by Demo, I think.
And now the game's tied. Basically, you know, a brand new score. Anything can happen. How lively is it on your bench, or is Coach Motzko still trying to get the message across that, you know, stay calm and stay even keeled for the rest of the period, Nick?
No, obviously this is why our league's so great, right? Like you get great matchups every weekend and teams that can go back and forth and throw some big blows at each other. So I think just as when we got down to, I think you gotta stay as even keel as you can, riding those momentum waves, those ups and downs. But I can tell you what, playing in this rink when the crowd gets going and you get to get back into it, it's tough to calm yourself down sometimes. So you gotta be able to channel that and stay sharp, stay focused, and keep plugging away at her.
And Coach, you talked about it a little bit, energy. How do you plan on giving your guys energy in a hub with no fans?
Great question. I think that's got to come from. It's got to be internal for sure. It's got to come from within the room. We have a very competitive group, and I think that's something we've talked about a lot. Is how to swing momentum amongst yourselves. But I don't think it'll be hard for our guys. I think they're going to be so fired up to play, and the other 7 teams in our league are going to be so fired up that I don't think there needs to be anyone there. I think the hockey's going to be very intense, and it's going to be a great 20 days.
Well, and there it is, Ethan Prow, go-ahead goal, putting you guys up 3-2. 6 minutes left in the game. Are you comfortable yet, Brooks, or are you looking for something else to put this one away?
Yeah, definitely not comfortable. I mean, I think we're feeling good about ourselves, but there's plenty of time left. 1 goal a game, late in the game, going up 1. You know, the ice has been tilted significantly. Denver's probably feeling what we were feeling earlier in the game. Nice release by Prowl, face-off play, just simple getting into the net. But definitely, you know, there's still time on the clock. There's still a game left, and still need to keep pushing for the final 6 here.
And this building just erupts after that goal, or any goal for that matter, is scored. And when you come back to potentially scout for the Kings, Brooks, do you get excited being back in a place you called home for 4 years?
Absolutely. I creatively make my schedule so I can come back to St. Cloud as much as I can for that reason. Obviously, you get to spend time with Nick, who's a good friend of mine, but also to see the guys play. St. Cloud's done a great job producing players, especially free agents. It's just been, again, 4 years of my life, special moments, special groups of guys that have come through there, and I feel like I helped contribute to the program and take it to a new level, and get to continue to watch that, you know, play out here for the years to come.
And I think most notably and most recently would be Blake Lizotte and David Rennick, 2 of the more recent Huskies to find themselves either directly with the Kings or in the Kings organization. How much do you like to kind of plug from SCSU and put into the Kings organization?
Yeah, I mean, as a scout, you try not to be biased. You try to, you know, recruit the player, not the league or the school. It just so happens that St. Cloud continuously has talented players that, you know, NHL scouts are scouting and recruiting to come play for them. Fortunately, both those guys make my job easy. They're easy to scout, especially Blake when he was there as a sophomore. I think he was one of the best players on the ice every single night for a #1 team in the country. I think everybody noticed who was the best player out there, not to mention Jimmy Schultz as well, who was on the prior episode. So, yeah, great group of guys. And St. Cloud, just like I said, continuously brings in NHL talent. And if there's talent, scouts will come.
And like you said, you try not to be biased, and it's shown that you haven't. Also from the NCHC, from the University of Minnesota Duluth, Mikey Anderson, getting into the Kings organization. So would you say that the NCHC is a pretty commonly targeted area to scout players?
Yeah, I mean, in my biased opinion, I think the NCHC is the best league in the country. Obviously, there's plenty of other good leagues, and there's good players and NHL players in all the other leagues as well. Just seems that there's more of an abundance here, more concentrated talent, less teams, if you will. But yeah, it's like I said, there's players all over. A lot of them happen to be in this league, and it makes my job easier because in my geographical area. So yeah, a lot of talent in this league.
Coach, we see Denver starting to kind of put the pressure on Charlie Lindgren with 4 minutes and change remaining in the game. Are you trying to, at this point, push the offense and the tempo to maintain your zone in the offense, or are you just trying to keep it away from them as much as possible, regardless of what zone you're in?
No, I think the best way, and I would think our plan here, playing with the lead, is to try to play in the offensive zone and possess the puck there. I don't think you ever want to start sitting back or playing on your heels. I think that's when bad things can happen and consequently spend more time in your own end. But I think with that aggressive mindset, probably just more of an awareness of when you're in the offensive zone or into a forecheck, keeping that third forward high and not giving up too much offense back the other way, and just really taking care of pucks when you need to at the blue lines. But no, I think you definitely want to keep your foot on the pedal and try to keep, bringing, pushing the pace against them and spending time in their zone.
And with about 90 seconds left in the game, Brooks, they pull the goaltender, and you try and get one more. You miss just wide here, but how long does that 90 seconds feel, knowing that they have the extra man? Does it feel like an eternity? Because I have to imagine that it feels a little bit longer than a minute and a half.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't go by quick. Every team obviously is going to have their last push regardless. In a one-goal game like this, it's being able to kind of weather that and stick to your details, as Nick said. Sensitivity around the blue lines, commitment to little things will help you get the job done, and blocking shots, and hopefully you can weather it and win a few battles and hopefully get one in the empty net.
And another one just wide, actually shot off the glass for icing, but we saw a little bit of play behind the goal line in the corners. How crucial is that, Nick, to maintaining the lead and knowing that they have the extra man coming for you to get the tying goal?
Yeah, the hardest part about defending 6-on-5 in a situation like this is when they get full control and set up. You can see here Dowder's doing a great job on the dot, winning a few draws, win a wall battle, get an exit. So being able to pressure off faceoffs in those situations and not letting them get into their setup, I think, is critical, because against most teams, and especially Denver, once they do get it set up, you're holding on for dear life at times, and you got to get some big block shots and make a few big plays, just like Dowder did there to seal it off.
Not third time, but fourth time's the charm, as the puck finally finds the empty net, and you guys take the 4-2 lead on Denver. You can see the look from the camera here on the bench. Everyone's fired up after, kind of a long first 30 minutes of play, down 2-0, but now you guys find yourselves up 4-2. Brooks, how does it feel when you can not only get a win against a rival, but also in comeback fashion? How good does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Depends if this is a Friday or Saturday. If it's a Saturday, it's going to be a good night. Hopefully it was. I can't remember, but No, it's always big. League wins. They're hard to come by. They matter the most in the pairwise, especially ranked games like this. So, I mean, big effort by the guys here.
And if it was a Friday night, how much of a momentum boost does it give you going into Saturday, knowing how much energy and emotion has already been spent on one game? But what advantage does it give you for Saturday, Nick?
Well, I think, it reinforces that you did enough good things to win the game for sure. But I think the hardest part about our league is winning those back-to-back games, just because inevitably the white team feels pretty good about themselves, and the team, the maroon team, Denver, they're going to be pretty fired up, and they're not going to. It's not going to sit well with them going to bed after the game. So there's always those emotional highs and lows, and usually the team that loses Friday comes back pretty darn hungry on Saturday. So that's what makes the league great.
And as you can see, the clock hit 0, and that is the final score. St. Cloud State defeating the Denver Pioneers 4-2 in comeback fashion, down 2-0. And as we kind of bring our thoughts back to one central hub, do you guys have specific memories of this game that sticks out as we watched a good 20 minutes of it here? Nick, you can go.
No, I think a few times there I was smiling pretty hard, pretty big, just watching. Obviously, those were special years for Brooksy and I, watching a lot of our best friends and guys that we went through a lot of great times with and a lot of battles with. So that was a lot of fun for me personally. But I think the biggest memory is just, again, seeing that and just seeing the belief that we always had in our group, like and people that used to watch our teams back then and followed Husky hockey. I think we had some pretty special years and a lot of success. And if we did get behind, I think we were resilient and we stuck together and we were able to always find a way to get back in the game. So just, again, another great memory of watching us kind of battle back from behind there.
Brooks, how about you? Was it fun and entertaining to kind of come back, you reconvene with a former teammate and watch one of the Huskies' greatest games?
Yeah, it's a game that I didn't think about specifically, but what an awesome game. Obviously going down the hole 2-0, but like Nick said, just a testament to the group that we had that year. Resilient, down but not out, always pushed through, and had a lot of talented players. I think a lot of the guys knew what their roles were, what the expectations were. Everything was clearly defined. Everybody knew where they stood. We had a young goalie that was coming into our own there that obviously ended up moving on to play in the NHL, and many other guys as well. So, just a great group of guys, and I'm sure there was many other games that we could have pulled from that season to watch too.
Everyone looking forward to December 1st for when the NCHC starts in the hub in Omaha. But guys, thank you for joining me today, and we watched a great one. Huskies beating the Denver Pioneers 4-2, and that'll wrap it up here for Huskies' greatest games. For Brooks Birch, Nick Oliver, I'm Nick Spiliopoulos. Thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Huskies fans, men's hockey is back for another great season in the best conference in college hockey. Make sure you catch every game live with NCHC TV. Subscribe now and receive access to every SCSU game during the 2020-21 season. Plus, get exclusive content, including post-game highlights, interviews, and so much more. What are you waiting for? Get your subscription to NCHC.TV and don't miss a second of the action.